Hey guys, Sean from Living Seeds, your seed guru. Today we're talking about pumpkin fly and pumpkin fly traps. And I'm going to run you through the theory behind the pumpkin fly trap. So a couple of years back, we spoke to one of our biological product suppliers, and he said to us that they have no solution for pumpkin fly. And it's something that our customers and we on Livingseeds Farm suffer with every single year. And having a chat to him, what he said to me was that they have occasionally caught pumpkin fly in the fruit fly biolure traps. So there are two kinds of lures. You have a pheromone-based lure, and how a pheromone-based lure works is that it gives off a scent. So the lure smells like a really sexy female, and then the male pest will come and try and mate that female, and they'll be caught in the trap and they will die. A bait lure works completely differently, where a bait lure is actually a feeding lure, and it's normally a high protein food source that the female pest will be attracted to that high protein food source, because if she eats a lot of protein, she's able to lay a lot more eggs. So you have pheromone-based lures, which attract males, and you have bait lures, which attract females. That is basically, in broad brushstrokes, how it works. So what I said to the supplier was, do me a favor, send me a couple of these biolure bait lures, and let's actually trial them. So we started trialing, I think 3 or 4 years ago, we started trialing these bait lures on Livingseeds Farm. And we followed the manufacturer's instructions, and the instructions say hang it between 1.5 and 1.8 meters up. And we didn't catch any pumpkin fly. And then we put them on the ground and we didn't catch any pumpkin fly. So what we did then was we took the traps and we lifted them slightly off the ground like this. And we started catching pumpkin fly. And it was a revelation to us that we actually started catching pumpkin fly, because for the weeks before that, we hadn't actually caught a single pumpkin fly. Or we'd caught 1 or 2, but it wasn't really effective. And what we did was we started researching the life cycle of the pumpkin fly, which is always a good idea if you're trying to understand the pest you're trying to control. And what we found was that the pumpkin fly spends her day on the underside of the pumpkin leaves. So she's not flying out in the air. She's actually inside the canopy of your pumpkin plants, and she's moving around on the underside of your pumpkin plants during the day. So the females, when they become sexually mature, will mate with a male overnight, and then the next morning she is ready to start laying eggs. And what she'll do is she'll find a young fruit where her ovipositor is strong enough to actually pierce the skin of the fruit, and she'll lay an egg inside the fruit. And she will continue doing this until she basically runs out of eggs. If she has a high protein meal first, she can produce more eggs and she can lay more eggs. So what she's looking for after her amorous night is a protein meal. And normally what she'll do is she'll feed off the nectar of the pumpkin flowers. But if there's a better protein source, she'll be attracted to that. And this is exactly what this trap is. This is a great protein source. So there's no pumpkin fly inside here, which is great. So what this is over here, this is the fruit fly biolure. And this smells like 99 dead anchovies. I know because I counted them, okay? It smells absolutely horrendous. When you open the packet, you'll understand exactly what I'm saying. So what we do is we put a little bit of water and some soap inside here to drop the viscosity of the water. So if a pumpkin fly does land on the water, it just sinks straight into the water. We don't use any poisons. Commercially, they'll use a poison inside these traps. We just use a little bit of water and some soap. And what you want to do is, I'll empty this out. So what you want to understand is that there's 3 holes over here. And these 3 holes is where the scent of this bait lure is emitted. The center hole over here is where the pumpkin fly actually enters the trap. And it looks a little bit like a flower to a pumpkin fly, and she's going into the flower to eat a meal, and she's trapped inside this trap and drowns. And it literally removes the females out of the vegetable garden. You might still see a male flying around, but these pumpkin fly traps really assist. So where do you hang these traps? So the traps need to be hung inside the leaf canopy, and this is sort of where the height. So it's below the pumpkin leaves. There are pumpkin leaves below it, but you don't want to hang it too close to the ground. You want it to be able to actually spread its scent underneath the canopy of this pumpkin plant. And what that'll do is that'll draw the females to the trap, and it'll trap the females. So there's a couple of things to remember. Number one, this is not going to catch every single female pumpkin fly in your garden. Some of them are going to lay eggs before they find the trap. That's number one. Okay. Number two, the trap needs to be installed before your first fruit. So before you have problems with pumpkin flies, the trap needs to be here. The reason for that is that a pumpkin fly will fly into your garden, and she's probably looking for a meal after her long flight to get to your garden. So if you can give her a food source that's attractive to her, you might actually catch her before she's able to do any damage. She might also arrive in your garden ready to start laying eggs as well. So you need to understand that as well. The next thing is, and I don't know if there's any young fruit that I can pick over here. So the next thing that you want to do, so we've only got mature fruit over here. But the next thing you want to do is you want to be monitoring your crop. So you want to be looking through your crop, understanding that if there is a fruit that has been stung by the pumpkin fly, you need to remove that fruit out of your garden. And you can't take the fruit and put it into your compost heap, because the worm is going to hatch out of the fruit. It's going to pupate inside the soil and hatch into a new pumpkin fly and start the cycle again. So if you're not removing stung fruit out of the garden, the trap is going to trap pumpkin fly, but it's not going to be able to keep up with the life cycle that's happening inside your garden. So my advice is take the fruit, put the fruit into a black bag inside in the sun, so you actually cook the fruit and kill the pumpkin fly larva. Or alternatively, if you have animals, feed the fruit to the animals, or just cut out the stung portion and eat the fruit yourself. Just make sure that you dispose of the stung portion so that a new pumpkin fly doesn't hatch out of it. Guys, there isn't really a spray, and I see a lot of people advising certain sprays like neem, and I've seen I've seen funny things being advocated as a remedy for pumpkin fly. If you're not going to be using a systemic poison, which we on Livingseeds Farm, as you know, we don't do anything like that, we will use a trap like this. So this is the trap that we use. We have multiple of these traps out, and we monitor them every Monday morning. Somebody comes around, you'll see there's a number on the trap. Everybody comes around and they'll actually make a recording so that we understand exactly what's happening with the pumpkin fly population on Livingseeds Farm. We don't use any spray for it. It's either traps and mechanical removal of stung fruit, or deal with the pumpkin fly problem, which people don't really want to do. Guys, thank you for listening. If you have any questions about pumpkin fly, please give us a shout below, or leave a comment leave your question in the comments below, and we will answer them for you. Have a great day, guys.